All right, my friends, we are back. It has been a minute. It's nice to see you. Thank you guys for being here. December has come and passed. We are in 2026. Some of us went away and got married. I don't know if you can see this shininess. Then we came back and we had the holidays and Christmas, and life has been a million miles a minute. But, here we are. We're back. You're back. I'm back. So let's do it. Episode 13 of Weighted Opinions, the show where I put ideas on the bar and see what they actually weigh. Today's topic, great question. Health is wealth, and why most of us are spending it like idiots. That's what we're going to talk about. So today, like I said, we are talking about the most valuable currency on this planet, and it is health. So let's be honest. Your health is your clearest indicator of your true wealth, right? Without it, nothing else matters, period. That's it. No rebuttal, no argument. Done. Full stop. So let's talk about the great irony of modern life, right? The fun little paradox of the world we live in today is that most people spend decades sacrificing their health to chase money and status and other pointless stuff, only to turn around later and spend all that money trying to buy back their health. Congratulations, you just ran on the world's most exhausting hamster wheel. And, we grind ourselves into the ground, destroy our sleep, we eat like garbage, we ignore movement, we live stressed out of our minds day to day, and all for success, right? But then when our body taps out and says like, hey champ, we need to talk, suddenly none of that stuff matters anymore, right? Your car, pretty useless if you can't get in and out of it. That money, it's worthless if you're too sick to enjoy any of it. And like everything beyond that, it doesn't matter. So that's why health is the only form of wealth that actually compounds. So for me, it was a complete perspective shift. I used to believe that money was the ultimate goal and that being rich would just unlock pure happiness, ultimate freedom, and my ideal dream life. And obviously, money helps. I'm not anti-money in any sort of regard, but it's not the whole equation. So my perspective forever changed in 2019 when my mother passed away. She was far too young. She didn't have a lot of money, and there was so much life that she hadn't lived. But at her celebration of life, it hit me like an absolute truck. I had person after person come up to me telling stories and sharing moments and memories, points in time, in ways that my mother had not only helped them, but supported them and forever left this indelible mark on their lives and changed their lives. And all of these people could recall it so clearly and precisely like it happened yesterday. And that's when it clicked for me that despite never being financially wealthy, my mother was actually the wealthiest person I had ever known. And that was pretty cool to me. But the currency wasn't money, right? It was love, connection, and impact. And in those ways, she was absolutely loaded beyond measure. So then, what is real wealth? Well, to me, wealth isn't just numbers in a bank account. Wealth to me is being loved and loving deeply, having friendships that would absolutely go to war for you, making meaningful impact in your community. And this fourth one I saved for last because I put a special asterisk by this one. It is being healthy enough to say yes to life when opportunities arise. So, if something pops up, but you have health issues or physical limitations that you would love to do, but because of those issues or limitations, you are unable to, so you have to turn it down, that is not wealth right there. That is quite the opposite, because you are not only losing the opportunity for new, exciting memories and things to happen, but you're having to deny yourself because of decisions made up to that point. So let me simplify it. Real wealth is not having to turn things down because your body can't keep up, right? And I think that's the part that most people don't think about until it's too late. So what's the wake-up call? Without hitting rock bottom, maybe you've been looking at it backwards. Maybe you've been putting the wrong things on the pedestal. So how can you wake up without tragedy forcing new perspective? You start prioritizing yourself. And no, that doesn't mean turning into a selfish asshole. It means taking responsibility for your well-being, because you cannot pour into others from an empty cup, right? And if you're around me with any regularity, you train with me, you're part of my community, you often hear me say something in that vein along those lines, right? And at the end of the day, even though in Canada, duct tape is the answer to a lot of our problems, you can't fix burnout with duct tape, right? So what are some non-negotiables? Here, first, nutrition. Not perfection, but quality. Eat like you respect your body. I know that's a radical concept. I know it, but just say that out loud. And I know there's delicious treats and temptations and everything out there, especially this time of the year. Have I been perfect through the holidays and on vacation? Absolutely not. And I'm very open about that. But the other 98% of the time, I eat very much like I respect my body. So even though those temptations and things might sound nice and it's a moment or two of mouth pleasure, think about it at the end of the day. Are you respecting yourself? Are you honoring yourself by doing those things all the time? No. Okay, so moving on. Second is strength training. And let me be crystal clear here. Super transparent, 100%. This is not optional. Okay? Hard stop. I'm going to say it again. It is not optional. Strength training is not for vanity. It's longevity insurance. Okay? The number of people that suffer life-altering injuries later in life because they lack muscle and strength is actually terrifying. It's horrifying. Look up hip fractures in people over 60. Actually, don't. It's kind of depressing when you look at the mortality and everything from it. But simple things like this can be avoided by strength training. And your 30s and your 40s determine how your 50s and your 60s and beyond go. So older you is either going to thank you or curse your name from the grave and haunt you from the afterlife. All right? And now maybe you're saying, Jared, you just care too much. You're too intense. Why are you being so hard about it? Blah, 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 blah. Why does this matter to me personally? To me, it's a gift and a curse. I hate that I care about people often more than they care about themselves, because it often leads to heartbreak and disappointment. And I see tragedies and hardship and things coming before they happen. And then when they happen, I'm not surprised, and I've already been upset, I've been hurt, and I've grieved for it, so I can't be there to continue to be sad for you. Beyond that, why does this matter to me personally? Well, I'm 39 years old, okay? I lost my mother 7 years ago. Yeah, that fucking sucks. I lost my father a year and a half ago already. Yeah, same, that fucking sucks. People I loved deeply who didn't prioritize their health and their well-being. They didn't know what their true wealth was. And they paid the ultimate price far too early. This is why I do what I do. This is why I'm relentless about my health. This is why I'm so passionate and why you think I'm so intense and I'm so hard and I give people grief. And, a few of you say, oh, you shit on me all the time. And it's good, because you won't do it to yourself. And I'm sorry for being selfish and wanting you to be here for a long time and a good time. Okay? If you won't keep you in line, reach out to me. I will gladly do it. All right? I don't want you or your family to learn this lesson the hard way like I had to. Again, I'm going to go back to it. It fucking sucks. All right? So please, 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 make your health a priority so you can understand what the true wealth of feeling good and being healthy is. All right? Now let me give you a little example. What does true wealth actually feel like? Great question. Thank you for asking. I was recently in Mexico, surrounded by friends and family, getting to marry the love of my life. And I can say this with absolute certainty. I have never felt richer in my life. Not because of money, but because I was surrounded by infinite love, laughter, movement, joy, and healthy bodies living fully in the moment. Okay, it was incredible. That was wealth. Wealth in abundance. The kind that fills your soul, not the kind that fills your garage. All right? I have pictures that will last a lifetime. I have memories that I will cherish forever. I have bonds and friendships that were forged in absolute unbreakable bonds that will last forever and then some. Okay? These are things that are truly wealth that have infinite value. Could I have bought a car or a couple of toys or whatever with the amount of money that all these things cost me? For sure. But at the end of the day, that stuff doesn't fill my cup. It just kind of parks itself in that void when I'm feeling empty and alone. Whereas that other stuff fills that gap so I don't feel empty and alone. You see what I'm getting at here? Stay with me. So let's dive into the hard part, but also the worthwhile part. Choosing health is not easy, okay? It takes effort and sacrifice and consistency. I know this. And sometimes it actually can cost relationships too. When you change, it tends to make a lot of people uncomfortable. Some will project, some will criticize, and some will try to pull you back down with them. That's not about you, that is about them. All right? Which reminds me of one of my favorite quotes. It goes something like, the person who follows the crowd will usually go no further than the crowd. The person who walks alone is likely to find himself in places no one has ever been before. That's our boy Albert Einstein, if you're curious. Yeah, phenomenal, right? And the bonus truth is when you walk away from misaligned relationships, you often find better ones, people moving in the same direction as you, right? When I started choosing health as my priority, I had a lot of friendships that I outgrew because our lives were going in different directions. Some people that I thought were my ride or die that would be there with me laughing on my deathbed when we talk about all the memories we created through our life. And there's nothing wrong with these people. I want to air that. Like, I'm not saying they're shitty people or garbage or whatever. We just started going in different directions. And while it was hard to break away from that and prioritize, it's what I needed to do to achieve success and get to where I wanted to go. All right. And the crazy part is, as hard as it was and as painful as it was, it felt lonely and it felt isolating. But as I started moving down that other path, I started finding other people that were doing the same thing as me with the same goals, who started supporting me and wanting to see me win on this new journey and being the wind in my sail. All right. So like I said, you will find some better people aligned to you that are moving in the same direction as you. I promise. So let me just give you a couple final thoughts here. We're not going to stay all day or talk too much about all of this. I could go on all day. And if you'd like to get in deeper into this with me and have more profound, crazy, whatever, deep conversations about this, I would love to, and I can talk all day. Reach out to me on my socials. I can put anything in the description there so you can find me if you're new or you're not part of my community. Yeah. Final thoughts. I've said it multiple times throughout this. Health is wealth. And that's not someday. That is not eventually. That is right now. You can't argue it. That is 100%. That is guaranteed fact. I will fight you. So, as we move forward into this new year, let this be the year that you actually choose you. Okay? Don't let it be another year where you keep saying it and then not following it up. Here's the phrase that I'm going to use for this year in my community, with my clients, with myself. It is going to be shut up and show up. I don't want to hear you. I just want to see you. Okay? I don't want to hear you talking about how you're going to win. I want to see you win. And if I see you winning, I want to be part of you winning. I want to support you winning. And I want the same in return. All right? So please, 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 please choose your health. Choose your future and choose the road that actually gives something back. Will it be hard? Fuck yeah, it will. Okay. Like I said, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but will it be worth it? Oh my God, more than you can imagine. All right. It might not be today. It might not be tomorrow. It might not be a month from now that it gives back to you. But when it does give back to you and you notice how much it is giving back to you, I can't even describe it to you until you experience it for yourself. And the funny part is, I had people talk to me like this before I was ready to hear it, or before I was ready and traveling this journey myself. And I used to be like, take that hippy dippy shit and blow it up somebody else's ass. I want none of it, because I wasn't ready to hear it. I hadn't experienced it, and I truly couldn't understand it. I would love nothing more than you guys to have that same sort of awakening and realization, but you have to experience it for yourself. All right? So with that being said, let's do the usual thing. If this episode made you uncomfortable, inspired, reflective, or defensive, good. That means it landed. And if you are doing any of those things, that means you're thinking. And that's my end goal here, because if you're thinking, you're growing. That's it. As always, I would love it, love it, love it if you would like, comment, share, and most of all, hit that subscribe button to help me grow this channel, grow this community, and expand our reach so we can make a bigger impact. Spread more love, all right? That's it. Until next time, my friends, stay glorious.